We finally have our first look at Tayshia's time on The Bachelorette, and we're breaking down everything we know so far about her journey. Hey guys, welcome back to another Shared News from Home. We have to talk about this new Tayshia trailer from ABC, but before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms.
Hi, Fiona.
Hello. So Avery, we have been waiting for this trailer for such a long time. There's obviously a lot to unpack. It's the full teaser for like her entire time on the show. So there is a lot to break down. I think to put it simply, Tayshia is going to have quite the experience. I feel like we should just dive straight in with these clips. First up, we have tons of excitement from the guys, just their general reactions to their first experience with Tayshia. Let's take a look.
This season on The Bachelorette.
Hey! We went through a lot with Clare, but with Tayshia, it's a new day.
So it's a new day. I think they're all just so excited to have a fresh start. What are your general reactions to seeing them that excited?
It's a new day, it's a new show, basically, and everyone gets a second chance. So I feel like the men are just feeling a sense of relief at this point in time once they figure out that there's a new Bachelorette, they get a redo, and maybe another chance at love.
Totally. We've all been so excited, people in Bachelor Nation that know Tayshia well, have known her for a long time, and people who are just tuning in. There has been so much hype, and I love what looks like, Tayshia's sort of explaining her intentions with the guys. I love what she had to say. It just feels like everything we'd hoped for. Let's take a look.
I'm coming here with the purest of intentions, and I just want you guys to be real.
Seems so genuine, so laid back. I know Clare also just wanted the guys to be real. I feel like that's a sentiment that we've heard before. But I don't know, there's just something about her in this moment that I was so charmed by. What about you?
I totally agree. She's way more like calm and collective than Clare, I would say. Claire is very intense, and Clare came in there and she was like, I know what I want and I'm going after that. Whereas Tayshia's taking more of a lighter approach, and I think she'll actually give every guy a chance. So we'll see.
Yeah, we certainly will see. Tayshia has had an interesting journey, of course, to get to where she is. She was married pretty young. She's been through a divorce. She obviously competed on a past season. She had a romance in paradise. Like, she's had quite a journey to get here. And she does seem to be opening up a lot, as she's in theory hoping to find a husband again, about what that marriage was like, what it was like to go through a divorce. So it's pretty interesting to hear her open up about it.
I got married and divorced at a really young age, and I feel like this is my time to really dive in deep and find my life partner.
So she's ready. She's looking for a life partner again. I think that, a lot of people were really excited about Clare because of her maturity, how she's so sure of herself, how she, made it very, very clear that she knew exactly what she wanted going in. And this, to me, Tayshia's going to bring sort of a similar amount of experience to the table, but through a different lens. Like, she knows what she doesn't want, that's for sure. It just seems like she's a little more open to, all the possibilities. She's not looking for one specific thing. She's just looking to find a life partner. How quickly do you think she will, form connections with these guys? Do you think she's going to be a fall fast type or play it a little safer? How do you think that'll play out?
I think at the beginning she'll play it a little because she doesn't know where everyone's head is still at. Maybe some still have feelings for Clare. That whole situation isn't cleared up yet, so maybe she'll start off slow, but at the same time I could see her falling quite fast for some guys, some quicker than others, but I guess we'll have to see with that one.
Couldn't agree more. Obviously so excited to see it play out. It does look, in this next clip, it looks like at the very least she's going to make some connections, you guys. We've been given some teases of some luck.
100% convinced that Tayshia can be my wife.
Tayshia's my dream girl, and I could see myself falling in love with her.
Tayshia,
Yes.
I'm falling in love with you.
So, first of all, right off the bat in that clip, we see a new guy. I believe his name is Noah. He is one of 4 new men that they brought in to join these suitors for Tayshia. And then in addition to that, even though that in and of itself is like crazy exciting, whatever, listen to how many sound bites we just had of deep developed feelings. Like, we didn't see anything like that from the men when Clare was there. This already feels like it's just going to mirror the traditional process a little bit more, I think, in my opinion, at least. What about you, Avery?
Totally agree. Watching this, I was almost thinking, I feel like we've seen some of these men talk more in just this preview promo than we have the entire first 4 weeks of Clare's journey. So that's also awesome and exciting that we'll even get to know these men that we've already seen for 4 weeks a lot more, because still I'm seeing their faces and I couldn't like tell you much about a lot of the guys, whereas in this point of the show I usually know more about the men. But it looks like a great season to look forward to. I'm excited.
Speaking of some of these guys that like I'm totally familiar with their faces, I know some of their names, but I barely feel like I know them. Ivan is one of those guys, and in these next clips, it looks like they might really be a good match. And like, I don't even know Ivan, so I'm excited. I'm thrilled to get to know him as a person. Let's take a look at this clip.
We're both biracial, and we have this beautiful love story developing.
So, I mean, a beautiful love story developing. So charming. She looks just so happy. I feel like I am just starting like a completely new season of The Bachelorette. Like, it feels like we're starting over. It feels like a reset has been pressed. I'm finally like excited.
Definitely a reset that I feel us viewers all needed. I'm happy for Clare, but we were just getting started. We want to see the tea. We want to see character development to the fullest. So I'm super excited for Tayshia's journey.
So on paper, to me, I mean, Clare's love story seems like reality TV gold, right? She met someone, she fell in love, she got engaged in 12 days. What a roller coaster. It feels like this has got to be every producer's dream. But the reality is The Bachelor, The Bachelorette have such a structure. There's such like a formula to it. There are benchmarks that viewers have grown accustomed to watching and, looking forward to. So in this environment, in this show, it just didn't really work, I feel like, even though we all had high hopes for it. So it's going to be really great to see Tayshia fully embrace the process, something she makes very, very clear in this next clip.
I feel like my husband is here. I am so genuinely happy. I'm trying to think of something wrong, and there's nothing wrong.
I mean, just such stark contrast. I'm so excited to just see her live in this moment, because it's been public knowledge that she's been interested in being the Bachelorette. I mean, that's something that we talked about when there was speculation on who the Bachelorette would be. I feel like, this is kind of a dream come true.
It really is. And I'm so happy she's going to embrace it traditionally to the fullest, just because all these men went through so much and they spent so much time over the course of quarantine and the filming with Clare that they really deserve a fair shot. And so does she. So embrace it. Take your time. Like, just go with the traditional format of the show. And I think it'll be great and lead to the best possible outcome, hopefully, for everyone.
Now, so far, this entire season teaser has been, so happy, so positive, all the love, all the smiles, like totally fun to watch. But I know at this point in the trailer, I was wondering, like, okay, is there going to be any drama? It can't be this perfect. And in typical, Bachelor Nation fashion, things are going to take a turn at some point. I mean, we do see some drama. So sad. I mean, such a heartbreaking clip.
You're so happy right before.
I know. I think that it feels like she's saying that to a producer. I really just hope that, they've only been teasing positive things from Tayshia. I don't think we're going to have another Bachelorette walk away early on, but to say she can't do it anymore, things, to me, that hints at some major drama.
Yes, I definitely feel like in that moment she's feeling all the pressure and it's just piling down on her at once because she has a hard job as a Bachelorette. You have all these men and it can't be easy, but there's so many hard decisions that have to be made throughout the journey. And that's when we really see bachelors or bachelorettes kind of break down because they do have to handle it at the end of the day.
I mean, listen, it blows my mind every season how the lead is able to date so many wonderful people at once, how the people are able to be friends with each other. Like, there is a lot of social norms being broken in ways that would crumble me. So it's always impressive to see anyone make it through this process. Interestingly enough, this next clip looks like some of the older guys are not really feeling the new guys. And as we, know just from Clare, they really bonded, these guys. They went through kind of a lot together. So let's take a look at this. I'm really curious how this will play out with the new men.
It's not always easy to see a wolf in sheep's clothing.
So that again is Noah. It looks like he had a rose on his jacket. And a wolf in sheep's clothing. I mean, that's a pretty powerful message. Clearly, I mean, what are your thoughts, Avery? Clearly, they're kind of framing Noah or hinting that there's going to be maybe some villainness from Noah.
And I would imagine it is going to be at least one of the new guys being the ones targeted, just because, like you said, they got so much time to bond, these guys, and they've developed really close relationships. So they got each other's back. And then if they see the new guy kind of being a threat, I definitely suspect some tension and some calling out and, everything that comes with that. And Noah looks kind of good looking. Usually it is the better looking guy is also a target. So I don't know. I think there'll be some drama with him and maybe he's the villain of Tayshia's season.
We certainly will. This next clip, I think, has an interesting, it's just a flash. These are all such small little teases, you guys. But we had talked about this before, Avery, like, these men, the Blakes, the Jasons, they really went all in with Clare. They put a lot of, hope on a relationship with Clare, especially in a relationship where you're not necessarily getting a lot of time with the person. A lot of it is, what you've built it up to be in your head, and that can be difficult to overcome for anyone. And this is just such a high pressure cooker environment. I think that one of my fears, if I was Tayshia, would be the men still not being fully over Clare. And I feel like that sentiment is going to be added to the not here for the right reasons kind of accusation this season. We do see it starting to come into play here. Let's check it out.
He hasn't once said anything that differentiates his feelings from Clare and Tayshia.
So obviously we see Tayshia upset by that news, and I don't even really know how to continue on without mentioning the fact that Ed was holding a baby doll for some unknown reason. So very interested to see what that's about. But if you were Tayshia, Avery, would that be something that would, get to you, or something that would make it difficult on this journey?
I definitely think it would be something to consider, and it would be in the back of my mind, definitely at the beginning of the process. But hopefully at the beginning, they can filter those men out if they do still feel that way, or clear the air on that subject matter. But at the same time, it could be a lot worse. As we know, these guys weren't able to develop as strong of relationships as they possibly could have, given the whole Clare situation, and she left the show with Dale. So it could be a lot worse. And it kind of sucks having to go in after another Bachelorette, but at the same time, I feel like no one got that deep of a connection with Clare. Like, no one developed as strong of feelings as they potentially could. So that's kind of safe for Tayshia.
Tayshia at some point is, going to be upset. They tease always the most dramatic moments, but I think it is worth watching because it'll give us kind of clues into her headspace and what her journey looks like. So let's check out one of probably the heavier moments that we can expect.
It's not easy to see her upset.
It's so unfair to Tayshia.
She is probably in her head trying to figure out who is bull.
So Avery, in that clip we just saw, they did flash to a bunch of the guys' faces. You know, that it seems as though a lot of the familiar faces we know are around for this dramatic moment, which to me feels like that could be a clue that this happens earlier on. And it seems like based on what's being said that this just could be some insecurity, some trying to sort of root out who's here for the right reasons, who they think is going to be a good fit for Tayshia. It just feels like emotions are going to be running high at the beginning, that there's maybe potential for some sort of conflict right at the start. What do you think?
I feel like the clip we just saw was a situation where people are going to weed out who's there for the right reasons, and the topic, if some men still have feelings for Clare, is definitely going to be brought up, and I feel like that's what is all going to take a toll on Tayshia. But this seems like it is at the beginning because we do see a lot of faces we don't see later on in the preview. So hopefully they clear the air with that whole situation right at the beginning and then can move on with the rest of the show.
Totally. Couldn't have put it better. Completely agree. It will definitely be interesting to see it play out. One of the things that she makes very, very clear is that she is following her heart. As cheesy as that may seem, that is, you know, what Tayshia's guide is going to be. And sometimes your head and your heart are in conflict. And in this next clip, we see her dad. And based on what he says, it seems like he may disapprove of where her heart has led her.
I'm truly giving it a chance, and it's more than what I've ever opened up myself to. But also, I have to follow my heart. I definitely have been falling for you.
Why him?
So, I mean, a lot of love-filled statements there, and then boom from dad, why him? So, I don't know. Do you think this could be creative editing? Of course. He could simply be saying, why him? Tell me why you love him. But the way we just saw it, it looks like Tayshia, you know, maybe falling for the wrong guy. Do you think that could be at play here? I don't want it to be. I just want her to be happy.
No, I don't want it to be either. I think it could be a little bit of both. As we know, the editing is insane. So it's always going to be way more hyped up than what we think is actually going on. But that's such an intense moment if he is asking why him, like, what are you doing? Because that's coming from your father, and that just adds more pressure. And we're talking marriage, not just a relationship. She says she'll follow her heart, but at the same time, she's very smart and she asks the right questions, and she's a very go-getter, get the job done. So I hope she doesn't, you know, fall too hard without some type of logic in the back of her mind. But we will have to see.
And we see it play out a little bit more in this next clip. Could be creative editing, could be just what it is. It sort of looks like Noah may be someone that sticks around for some time. And between the way they've edited this trailer, it seems like the guys and maybe Tayshia's dad aren't sold. Let's take a look at this Noah edit they're giving us.
There's something wrong with this guy.
As your father, it's my job to protect you from making possibly the biggest mistake of your life.
So, you know, we've said this before. What audio is used where, what visuals, you know, what we have no way of knowing that that's definitely who her dad was talking about. But this is now, it looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, but two separate outfits maybe where Tayshia's being coached that she might be on the wrong path. So I don't know. I guess it's possible. We hate to see it, but I guess it's possible that she sort of falls for the wrong guy.
I think in this preview, they're painting him as the villain because they just threw in a clip of Noah with like the dad's voiceover. They weren't in the same room as far as we. So again, with the creative editing, I think they're trying to point us into one direction, but hopefully it's not how it actually plays out.
Hopefully it's not. You said it. I think like Tayshia is smart. Tayshia is to the point. She knows what she wants. I don't believe that she's going to be flailing through this process. I think that, you know, at the end of the day, she's going to make smart choices. And one of the things that I think weighs on her heavily based on just what we've seen in this teaser is she's looking for a husband and she knows what it's like to go through a divorce. And that's kind of, I mean, this next clip makes it clear that's front of mind as she goes through this process.
The fear of divorce will like forever stay with me.
And I never want to experience that heartache that I experienced in my last marriage.
So just, I think clearly it's going to be a guiding force. Bad breakups are one thing, divorces are next level. It's hard to go through. And I don't know about you, Avery, but I don't see Tayshia as being someone who will walk away from this engaged unless she's 100% in her heart, unless she knows that this is going to last. What do you think?
Absolutely, because she's already gone down the road of divorce before. She knows from a personal level how that is. And like we said, she's a smart girl. She does not want to go through that again or even come close to making that mistake again. So I totally agree. She's going to be 100% sure if she's going to get engaged or she won't do it.
Totally. I think that, you know, we've said this before too, but her journey is not going to be as lengthy. Even if she's more traditional, there's just still going to be an extra added layer of pressure. Like, think about, usually you do hometowns where you see someone's life, you see someone's family. Like, this time around, they're not getting the luxury of all of those things in the way that I think really has made a difference in other people's lives. When you go home and you see how they act with their family, you see their hometown, like, that adds a level of certainty. So I don't know. I just wouldn't be surprised if Tayshia walks away with a boyfriend and not a fiance. Let's take a look at this next clip, because it does look as though there may be some emotions running high at what certainly resembles the look of a final rose ceremony.
Oh my God. I think I'm really drunk.
So very emotional. I mean, we see her standing there in the white dress. We don't see her face in that moment, but we hear the audio of her crying from something else. And of course, we get that close up where we can't really see what she's wearing, but it all looks like, at least the way they've cut it together right this second, it might be an emotional, final rose moment. I don't know, Avery, my gut tells me that she just might not be ready. She might be torn between two guys going into the end and just not ready to commit fully to either. I don't know. That's just my initial gut reaction. Obviously, we'll have to see how it plays out. What's your kind of initial thoughts with that?
I think that's definitely a possibility, especially since this season is more rushed and there's just going to be things missing. At the same time, I think that allows for everyone to spend more time with each other just because they're not doing all the traveling. But
right,
I feel like in that moment we just saw, maybe she's feeling that pressure of, do I have to get engaged right now or should I just wait? Because on this show, we love to see an engagement. But I mean, for Tayshia, I feel like as viewers, we'd much rather see her leave with a boyfriend and they get married somewhere down the road instead of just getting engaged right off the bat and then they don't even make it to marriage or there's another divorce because they rushed into something. So very intense situation, and it's such a huge decision to be made. Like, it's marriage. So I hope she doesn't rush it if she feels that it's not 100% right.
Totally. I mean, I don't know about me. Obviously, you guys were going to want to hear your thoughts too. I don't know about you, Avery. I feel like I love to see an engagement moment, but more than anything, after getting to know the cast of characters every one of these seasons, I just want them to walk away happy. I don't need the super dramatic fairy tale moment if it's not going to last, because I feel like that just adds to the level of potential heartbreak. I just want to see these people walk away happy. So Tayshia is, of course, no exception. You guys, we want to know, as I said, we want to know your thoughts. What are your initial clues? What have you picked up on from this teaser trailer? Are you convinced that Noah's going to be our villain? All of your initial reactions and predictions, let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell, because we will be covering every moment of Tayshia's journey right here. You don't want to miss it. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring. And Avery, where can they find you?
You can follow me at Avery Grooms.
Amazing. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.